So having explained Ba'arichus at length till now, Shem Havaya, Oisius Atzmim, Minei Ubei, Oisius Achkika, including the Miloi of that, explaining this at length. And even though the other Shemas are also on Atzilus, but they're Chitzonius HaKelim, whereas Shem Havaya is Pnimius HaKeli, the Oisius, the nature of the Oisius of Shem Havaya is Pnimius HaKelim, as we explained in yesterday's shir. So now continuing in the Oistes. Since that the whole purpose of the whole creation and all of the world and all of the Inyan and all the revelations, all because of the Yid, therefore, calling on Ishtalshalos Yeshnam Gam b'Neshamas Yisrael. Everything that exists in Ishtalshalos exists within Neshamas Yisrael, which is why we can understand, we are supposed to understand, and the only way to understand Ishtalshalos is by understanding the way the Nefesh works and the Guf works. In the Ombrim we say Neshama Shanasata B'Tahiri. So we say every morning that the neshama is tahir, is pure. The Kriya neshama kameshi mad batzilos. So this is the neshama in Atzilus. B'chinesoisis achkika. Okay, you do as it's known. Sheneshama yisrael shorshim b'pnimius hakelim. So not stam Atzilus. Pnimius hakelim, as we explained that yesterday. Shezai nefesh bein neshamas the malachim. This is the difference between neshamas and malachim. Shemalachim in b'chitzonius hakelim. Then it says there's no malachim in Atzilus. But the implication here is that even as the neshama descends in Ishtalshalos, it retains this pnimius keli, or this essential identity. Whereas malachim in chitzonius hakelim, malachim come from chitzonius, like in other words, creation. And neshama is in pnimius hakelim. And then we describe as the neshama descends in the mabriata yitzarta in the mayitzira atanafachta, you blew it into me. Shekoil neshama kameshi b'biyah, the neshama as it descends in biyah. As we said in the previous paragraph, that biyah is already levushim, bri is levushim. Shinyan ha-levushim, that's the levushim which we explained yesterday, is even a further limitation, or the further extraneous level of extraneousness. Outsideness. In contrast to chkika, like it says in Say Levushim Tikinas Loin, you have created or established garments for the neshama, the minayu porachin nishmas, with which the neshamas literally fly. It means the neshama's journey through the agency of the levushim. In both ways, descending downwards and also ascending, because it's through the levushim that the neshama is able to perform Torah mitzvahs and achieve its ultimate ascent. Bezeh gufa, and in levushim itself, there's many levels. Like a garment of leather or skin or hide. Shagam kim levush, it's also levush, like it says in Iyov. He's saying Iyov that Hashem provides everything, and skin and flesh you have enclothed me. But this is a levush that's from the person himself, it's his own skin. So that's a very intimate levush, one's skin. Yes, the levush shochut me'adam. But then there's more external levels of levush, have a levush dak, but they are very refined. Yesh levush gas, so that's like the general garments that we wear. The tailored garments is the levush dak, the shirt and so on. But then there's levush and the jacket. Yesh levush gas, and then there is a more coarse levush amana amina. That's the shoes. Shalov shemala regel that you wear on the foot. So identified now three levels of levushim: the skin, clothing, and the shoe. This corresponds to the three garments of machshava dibur ma'aseh. We can see that machshava is very, very intimate and very expressive of the person, like one's own skin. And then dibur is more external, that's a garment, and Moishe is the shoe, as it were, even more external and more coarse. But as we'll see, the end of the ois is dafke in the Moishe and the levushim, as he quoted from the Zohar moments ago, that the neshama truly flies. We'll see at the end, Shem Keneged the Gimel Ilmis Biyah, the levushim, the three levushim correspond to the Gimel Ilmis, which we said in the previous paragraph. Abba Chlal Dinim levushim, that's Bria, and then Eicholos is even lower, but overall it's levushim. Bria Elam Machshava. Bria is Elam Machshava. Bria is the world of thoughts. Atzilus is not Machshava. Atzilus is the actual spheres, the actual spheres themselves. But Bria starts Levushim in Bia. But in Bria it's the highest Levush, Machshava, which corresponds to the four levels of creation. Right, there's the inanimate, doimim, and then on top of that, tzimeach, the vegetative kingdom, and then chai, the living, and then medaber. So that corresponds to the four elemes. Atzilus is medaber, but bria is chai. V'bechina is chai, and it's the level of chai, of a living entity, which is a very high form of life, similar in many ways to the human being. Like machshava is very close and expressive of the inner human being. And so that's why it's brought down in Sforim 48. Mikdash Melech. This is a sefer authored. His name was Rabbi Shalom Buzaglo, known as the Rashab. It's brought down in Chassidus. He says in Menayim Beis it's brought down. So he says that Shabbos v'Yom Tov is a big makubel. That this is the reason, if you read this, but now you'll find out that by Shabbos and Yom Tov we wear a garment of silk, the kapotes of silk. The Rebbe only start, first of all, just to tell you historically, you just finished the paragraph, Shem Madregas Achai, because the silk comes from a silkworm, as opposed to, it actually produces the silk. So it must integral to the silkworm itself. It doesn't just grow on it like wool does on a sheep. Shezer levushet habriya, which goes on olam habriya, and on Shabbos is the aliyahs of all the olamas. So Yitzir and Asi have the aliyah in briya, and it goes even higher in Atzilus. So that's why we should wear a garment of a higher order of life, not from the inanimate, but from the living, and not even for the vegetative kingdom like flax, but from the animal kingdom, hence the silk garment. So you should know that Bechlal, whether the reason was poverty or otherwise, Chassidim very, very, very rarely elevated Chassidim more silk kapotes, zaydens in Yiddish, zayden kapotes. The Bilo Parashu was zaydens year round because he wanted to avoid the problem of shatnez. If he wore a wool garment and he was sitting and there was a thread of linen, like Bilo Parashu was already my Madreges Sadik, his Yidurim were legendary. And there were others, you can see, but they were very rare. The Rebbe came along and changed that. In the Tofshin Yud Aleph, by the way, was I think, forgot the Fabrengen, but the Rebbe said then they hung it. It used to be hanging on the wall in 770, a copy, the paragraph. The Rebbe said he would give you Yishakech to the Yingo light if they stopped wearing silk on Shabbos and Yom Tov. And that's when it started. Every Yingo man gets married. What? Yeah, I'm going to say. So then, that's when it started. Every person getting married would, for his chasna for sure, they still kapata. And the problem was for many people, many, it's expensive and never replaced it, so that we just stuck with the wool. But many, many still wear silk kapatas, and then it's an Indian. There was a certain silk that everybody used to wear. This was the silk, because there was one kapata maker. His name was Hans. He lived in the Lower East Side. That's what the Rabbi didn't go there, but he would come to 770 and make the. Imagine the whole Lubavitch made the silk kapot, at least in New York, made all their silk kapotas, everybody by the same tailor. And there was a special kind of silk that it was, a ribbed silk. It was ribbed, like this shirt, except this way. Just goes this way, it was that way. Not very practical. Like any silk is not. But today, I don't know, I haven't examined. The silks today are more subtle. First, I used to wear Zaydens for decades. Just kind of, never learning the Maimer. No, I guess you guys for sure. Chassidish and Gelite, the next kapot to think about the silk one. But I don't think it shouldn't be one person that looks like already like a movement. Everybody does it at once. So it shouldn't look to Mechse Yur and halacha. There's this thing of Mechse Yur. A person shouldn't do something that makes him look. Gives the appearance of superiority, arrogance. But everybody does it. That's something else. I'm just putting it out there. Now, the Rebbe himself didn't wear Zaydens till Tavshin Nun. Tavshin Nun, Rebbe started wearing Zaydens all the time. Before that, it was Shabbos and Yom Tov and Fabrengen. Otherwise, he wore the regular wool kapata. But Tavshin Nun, it was Tavshin Nun. He just used all. I don't know when it started, but it just never came off the Zayden kapata. We were very excited about that because it was all pointing towards we're going into the year of the Great Shabbos, and clearly that's what it was connected to. Anyway, and the brackets. V'yitzir v'asiya. But this is Bechlal, it's not just Chabad. All Chassidim wear Zaydens. Wear silk. Certainly Shabbos and Yom Tov. They make these fake silk things. They look like silk. That's the whole point. Is missing the point. Yeah, because they make it fake because it's a kind of a polyester. So it looks silk. So if the point is that it should look, then fine. If the point is that we're seeing here, it's not. The point is there should be dafke from Eilam Hachai. Nothing is achieved by polyester. In fact, that's doimen. That's even lower. It's lower than wool. So nothing is achieved on that score. And continue the descent. That corresponds to Dibur and Maise. So that's the descent of the Neshama. The Kriyat Neshama, if you should begin the Ilmis Biyad, the Neshama is a descent to the three Ilmis. Ad the Bechinis Regel should be Neshama, like we said before, even the foot, that's the third level of garment. Shia Neshama Dasiya, that's the Neshama that descends in Asiya. Shebechinazu, Kamelevush Hamino, this is like the shoe as we explained before. Now comes the irony, of course. That even those that this level is the Matib Madreg Bechinis Al Yunis Haneshama Gam Kivishem Bebiyah, this is the lowest level of the Neshama. The lowest investor, even lower than the Neshama, the way it is in Biyah. Which way he says Biyah, because Asiya is the Manal anyway. Certainly it's lower Lagabi Bechinis Tahidi Shabbat Silos. It's a way lower descent relative to Achilas. In the whole Aved is Dafke in the Levushim. In Dafke in the Levushim Maisa. This is a critical point that the Maimon is concluding with. It's going to answer the questions or the mystery of the Zoya with which the Maimon began. So let's get this clear. It's something we're very familiar with. This is the whole Nakud of Chassidus. The thing in Maisa B'Peil, Dir B'Tachtoinim. So even though it's the lowest levush and the lowest sintzum, etc., and the levush gas as he described it, how beautiful are your souls in shoes, daughter of nobles, or of a noble. Says the Gemara, who is the noble? What's it talking about? It's talking about Yidden going up. Your souls, your feet. Soul, S-O-L-E. So the Gemara says, this is referring to that Yidden when they're Euler Regel, and they go up by foot, Sholish Agolim to the Beis HaMikdash. That's what this pasuk is extolling. And they're all, every Yid is called a Bas Nediv. Who is the Nediv? Bita Shel Avram Avinu. Every Yid is the daughter of Avram Avinu. When Farshim say, why is he called Nediv? Nediv means noble, but it also Nediv means as in Nedava, which means to give over. He gave himself over B'chlal to Hashem, but specifically, he sacrificed and he went to Yisrael. He left Chodon and he went to Yisrael. And his offspring are emulating him in their Aliyah Lereg. So, but the point is, Shagili, next page 380, Shagili Hayofi, where is the true beauty? Repchines Anolim, Dafken Alaim, Dafken the shoes. Vain the Shagili, Malis and the Shamain, Yesabis Elyonim. The Gili, the revelation of the true depth of the Neshama, does not come to the fore in the higher Eilim, the Dafke, Kefishim Mistabeshes. Dafke, the Neshama, is invested by Vedes Avidosa and does its Avodah B'Nefesh Bahamis Dafke in the Nefesh Bahamis, Ubezeo Ikara Yoifi, herein lies the true Yoifi. And that's the segue to explaining the Zoya. Let's go back to the beginning of the Maimah, just get the quote of the Zoya. And then, there were no kashas there, it was just, what does it all mean? Let's go back to the beginning of the Maimah. To learn the first ois again. Yitnu, the pasuk says, this they should give kol oivel apakudim, all who are counted should all give machtes hashekel. That means from the ages of 20 to 60. Estim geira shekel. How much is a shekel? 20 geira. And how much is machsa shekel? But half of it is truma la'avaya. So it says in Raya Mehemne, which is a part of the Zoya, man machtes hashekel. What is machtes hashekel? Kagoin chatzi yahin, like the idea of the half of a hin. So he's suggesting it means the hin, that measure of in korbanos, possibly. At any rate, what does it mean half the hin? V'do, that means vav, the vav, memutza, which is in between ben shnei ahin, the two hays of Hashem's name. So you have the yud k, vav k. So what's machzah shekel, we're told now? It's the vav between the two hays. That's what we have to know. Yeah? The Zohar continues, avne lemishkul bei, a stone by which to weigh, like a scale. How is a scale? It has two sides. What is it? Do yud, an avne lemishkul ba, yeah. A stone by which to weigh. Do yud, so which is 10 on one side. Esrim geira shekel. The shekel is esrim geira. Do yud. So it's 2 tenths. 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. That's the two halves. Mavai Haramez, and the Ramez explains, famous Pirush on the Zoya. Shebezei bola yashav shnei kushis. The Zoya is coming to answer 2 questions. Aleph, the first question that is in the pasuk as follows. Shehiktim ha-pasuk. The pasuk first tells us, machzas ha-shekel, give half a shekel, kaidim sheidia ma ha-shekel ha-shalom. Before it tells us what a whole shekel is, it backtracks. He says, give machzas ha-shekel. Then it says, a whole shekel is 20, and give 10. It should be the other way. Say a whole shekel is 20, and say give half shekel, 10. And the pasuk should have said, Ze Yitnu eser geira. Start off and saying, what should you give? 10 geira. That's the first question. V'abeis, mashakosef achakach. At the end of the whole description, it repeats again, machas hashekel truma l'Hashem. That seemed to be the last few words of that whole instruction. Seem to be nida miyuta, appears to be what? Completely extra. L'chein bo l'lamdeinu. Let's get this clear, because now we're going to tie it all in, having said what we explained about Shem Havaya and the Daladoisius, etc. So let's do this together. So the Zohar is coming to teach us, explains the Ramez. There's 2 levels of machzas hashekel. Achas keleles v'stomis. There's one, a general one, an undefined. Without knowing the amount. And what's that? That's v'huvav, that's the vav shechaytze, which divides, mitzmatzen is in between, beishnei ayin, between the two hays of the Yud Kei Vav Kei. Mevu ben yonim be'edushe machzah shekel. V'abeis, that's 1 unit machzah shekel, 1/2. That's the vav in between the two hays. Then there's a second. V'abeis, chatzi, it's a lower one, as he'll explain at the end of the Maimon now. Having said all that we did. V'abeis, chatzi or esrim, geira, half of 20. Geira shu yud. That's yud, all right? So in summary, there's 2 machzah shekel. There's the higher one, which is between the the vav between the two hays, and then there's the lower one, which is specific. The first one we don't get an amount. The second one we do, and that is the half to 20. And here the pasuk continues to explain. The Zohar continues to explain. So the not continues, begins. This is the outline. This is the Ramez's outline, with whose benefit we'll now revisit the Zohar and understand what it's saying. The Zohar begins. Man machzah shekel. What's the inyan of machzah shekel? Claim elemi yechaven lekoyd b'shemachzis. Who can we call half? Koydem eidos kamas shekel, before we even identified how much a shekel is. Yachakach pirish, and afterwards, so now we know what that is. That is the vav. Achach pirish, and then the Zohar goes on to say avna lemishkabah. This is a scale. Shizeo inyan esrim gera shekel. Now the numbers already 20. Haino even, meaning a stone shesheklim boy, with which we weigh. Shu yud, on one side is yud. Ulenegdoi sheklim vav dalet. On the other side is the vav and dalet, which is in the mili of the yud. Both add up to 10. Yud is 10 and vav and dalet are 10. So it's in this detail now of 10 and 10, yud and its miloi. This one is Truma Lashem. That's the repetition. This is the higher one. This reaches to the true Shem Havaya. Shemachtis me'esim geira yiyeh Truma Lashem. Half of the 20, that in the end is Truma Lashem. Again, it's all kind of mystical, but in general, what the Zohar is identifying is the Daled Oisias. Shari Machsa Shekel Aleph Vav. The first general half shekel before we get a number is the level of the half that separates the two hays. This divides it into two hays. But the second one, that's yud already, that's 10, half of the 20, and it's the last one that we get, the Truma Lashem. When it starts off saying Yitnu, that's already a level that precedes the Daled Oisias. But after this introduction, and we have the identification of Inyan Daled Oisias Shemavaya, so then first one stam Yitnu, but Truma Lavaya is after the second machzis, which gets down to the nitty gritty of the division between the 20 divided into 2 tens. Now we're going to get everything. What we learned, we're going to get the answer, what this all means. Now the last point we just said now on the end of this test was that the avodah in the levush, in the lowest level of levush, the avodah with the shoe, that's the ikar avodah. Mayofa pamayich bin olim bas nediv. So having said all of this, that's the Ikar HaYofi. Now the pasuk begins with Zeh, Yitnu, Stam. Machzah shekel, without defining what it is, and then it says Esim Gera shekel. A shekel is 20, and Machzah shekel is 10, and that's Truma Lavaya. So what does all this mean now? Hine Esim Gera, starting from the end of the pasuk. 20 Gereim Eser HaKoiches and Nefesh HaLekis, V'Eser HaKoiches and Nefesh HaBahamis. What's the 20? The 20 are the 10 faculties, the 10 Koiches of Nefesh HaLekis, the 10 Nefesh HaBahamis. So only giving 10. Sinas Machzah Shekel Inyan. Giving the half shekel is the avodah what? With the neshama as it comes lamata, in the shoe as it were, in Nefesh HaBahamis, avodah Mes HaKoiches and Nefesh HaBahamis. The Iker Avodah Machzah Shekel is the Avodah with the Nefesh HaBahamis. Shezeu Iker v'Tachlis Avodah. That is the Tachlis Avodah. V'Zeh Dafke, and it's in this Avodah that the pasuk concludes the truma lavai, the true elevation to Hashem. Now, but in detail, Yitnu. Understand all of the diukim of the pasuk. It starts of saying Zeh Yitnu, this you shall give. One thing of Zeh Zeng and Agiloi. The word Zeh, this always means something that's revealed. If something is revealed, you can't say this. It's that. That it means it's somewhere. This implies immediate here, revealed in our presence. So the koyel advarim agashmim. So for us, what's this? Gashmis. Physical things we can point to the finger and say this is it. Zeh Yitnu means that the avodah has to be with the guf nefesh bahamis. He, the whole of the purpose of avodah is shetavid avidosim advorim agashmi davke, that the neshama should do the avodah of davke dvorim agashmi. Shezen na say they istapshusa. That can only happen when it comes down through ishtalshalis into the guf. So it has to come through being invested in nefesh bahamis and beguf agashmi davke. Say the order is as follows. We're following. First, he says, first, the pasuk talks about a half shekel hastomis, which means stam, unidentified, not having to find what it is. Without knowing how much a whole shekel is, we certainly don't know what a half shekel is. There's no measure here. So what is it? Which part of the neshama has no measure? Machshas HaShekel, half is the nefesh alikis. It's only the end of the pasuk there. We talk about the neshama's descent into the guf. That's the other half of the shekel, right? That's the other half. That's the esrim divided into half. Now we're getting the machshas HaShekel. This is the 10 koiches of who? The nefesh alikis. But it doesn't tell us how much deliberately, because here we're talking about the neshama. That's on the neshama. This is the etzem neshama, which taka doesn't have a measure and a shear. So we're calling it a machshas shekel as if to say that from it will emerge 10 koiches. But they're not even told 10. They don't have to know 10. Because be'etzem here it's higher than any number. This is the half of the person, meaning his neshama, his nefesh alikis, and we're not given a number because it's referring to the etzem neshama, which is higher than the eser koiches itself. Pure likus. Yeah? Continuing now, where are we? Now we can. Then the pasuk continues and gives us numbers and tells us you should know that there is 20. Oh, there's something else here. What's that? The crown nefesh alikis kifish metabesh nefesh bahamis. Because now the avodah is the etzem and the neshama has to descend lamata to be invested with nefesh bahamis. She does a pearl bavidosai liyos. And through which it's the neshama effects that there should be v'hafta b'chol levavcha, to love the Eibishter not only in nefesh alikis, which naturally does so, but the whole avodah is b'shnei yitzarecha. The nefesh bahamis should also have a gishmak in the likus. V'ad b'chol ba'itcha, and not only b'chol levavcha, but b'chol ba'itcha, which means literally with all your extremities, all your extreme. By pushing the nefesh bahamis, and the nefesh bahamis actually not pushing. Nefesh bahamis is extreme. It's a behemoth. But by exploiting the ma'od nefesh bahamis, nasa b'chinas ma'od gam b'nefesh alikis. Nefesh alikis naturally is not extreme. The nefesh alikis is basically cerebral and very oizge cheshbon and a good little boy. The nefesh bahamis and the shalikis comes down. The nefesh bahamis and gets to know this behemoth, which is a very difficult transition. But the point in the end is that the mishigas, the shtusimit, the shtus, the klipper, this is the ma'od of the nefesh bahamis should unlock and inspire the nefesh shalikis to serve the Eibishter with the gewalt, with the craziness of the nefesh bahamis. So now she'oz b'mispar esrim. So this is the number 20. The two of them together in tandem. Eser koiches the nefesh alikis, v'yeser koiches the nefesh bahamis. And that's what the Zohar continues. Av no lemishkel ba do yud. That the scale, the stone scale, has 10 on one side and 10 on the other. Sheyud made al bittel. To the one side was yud, the other side was vav daled, right? So on the one side is Yud, that's Bittul, the Shemitzad Gilui Etzem Neshama. This is, it seems he's saying here that the true Etzem Neshama comes to the fore. It's Gilui because of the engagement with the Nefesh Habahamis, the scale, because of the two of them. And so this also causes the Bittul in the Nefesh Habahamis. That it seems is the Vav Daled on the other side. Doesn't go into detail. At any rate, the point is that the pasuk now concludes on the end that the pasuk says Machsa Shekel Truma Lavai. The Machsis or Chatzi Mesim Gate, half is half of 20. Because the main avoid, the whole point is the whole focus Nefesh Habahamis. Showing in Esakek Nefesh Habahamis. Shebe'em Ike Tachlis Avoid, that's the Tachlis Avoid. V'zeh Oimroi. And that's what he concludes in saying that the Machsa Shekel Truma Lavai, what Eibishter wants, the offering is the half. And the half is the Avodah, the elevation of the Nefesh Habahamis, which in turn causes the Aliyah in the Nefesh Halikis. Sheikir HaKavoni b'Machsa Shekel Shem Eser Keich Nefesh Habahamis She'inyin Zed Dafke Nase. This causes Truma Lavai. Should we finish?
Yes.
Okay. And therefore the pasuk concludes again. The pasuk began with the instruction Zeh Yitnu. And we said that Zeh goes on what? Dvarim Gashmim. And the rest of the pasuk was telling us how. It's through the Avodah with the Nefesh Habahamis. Through the Etzem and the Neshama coming down Lamata, and then engaging plurality and division, Nefesh Habahamis, and the Mo'ed of the Nefesh Habahamis, and the Mo'ed then reflecting the Nefesh Halikis, etc. Shikar Avodah b'Dvarim Gashmim Kanal. So now we concluded one understanding, one Pirush in the pasuk based on the Zohar. Another Pirush, the first one was that Zeh goes on Dvarim Gashmim because you can see them. Another related Pirush is it's through this Avodah with the Zeh on a literal level. This causes the Gilui of the higher Zeh. That's right, that the Yesha Miti is to be found where in the Yesha Nivra. Nasa Gili the Bechina Zeh, this causes the true this one. That's Nebishter, the true this, the true reality. Derech HaGili the Kriyas Yamsuf, like Kriyas Yamsuf. Shkolecha v'echad ha'yamada betzboy, each one pointed with his finger v'omer and says, Zeh Keli v'anveyo, this is my God and I will exalt him. Harimachsa shekel shaykh Kriyas Yamsuf. And there's a connection, because Kedisa B'Rishalmi, that all who pass through to be counted, man the over al yomba, that's all those who pass through the sea. So the ones who were counted in the census, were all went through. The Zohar makes the connection to Kriyas Yamsuf. Why? Because the whole point is to achieve permanently the union of Zeh. To become even higher than Kriyas Yamsuf. Shia gam b'pchina Zeh. They'll be the true this, pointing to the Eibshter, K'mayim Barazal. Like the Gemara says, at the end of Masechta Tainis, Osa HaKadosh Baruch Hu lases machal tzadikim. The Mashiach will come, the Eibshter will make a circle for the tzadikim. There'll be a big rikud. And each one points with his finger. And he says, this is my God. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, when we say this pasuk before our coffers, and they will say on that day, behold, this is our God. We hoped for him. And he saved us. This is God. Our hope was in him. Now we will rejoice and be besimcha in his salvation. That's the Gili of Zeh. Okay, so tomorrow I'm not here. And Thursday, so Friday, Mitzvah Hashem, we'll just give overview of the whole Maimer. And Monday, Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll start Balayla Hu Toshin Chav and Meidik Maimer, where the Rebbe cried in the Maimer. It's really, really moving. And as if you may remember, the Maimer Toshin Chav, you can see there the beginning of the whole Tshuva movement. And how there's 1960 friends. And how the Rebbe is pale the Inyan neshamas who are completely lost, are being stirred and coming back. it's a murder that can be, and a mitzvah Hashem will hear, listen to the Maimon as well after we learned it. More or less follows the Anach. Okay, you want to say something?
We started the light